First, I just want to thank Congressman Baca and as well as Senator Menendez and Representative Gutierrez, Representative Solis, Representative Becerra, and Janet Murguia from the Council of La Raza, National Council of La Raza, and Frank Sherry from America's Voice. You're going to hear from them after me. I want to thank them for being here as the Media Matters Action Network releases our report, which is called Fear and Loathing in Primetime, Immigration Myths and Cable News. We conducted this study in order to document the way some cable news programs foster fear, resentment, and anti-immigrant hysteria. Instead of accurate information, what cable viewers often get when it comes to the issue of immigration is vitriol, myths, and misinformation. In Fear and Loathing in Primetime, we document this hysteria that surrounds immigration and is heard on cable news, focusing on a trio of the worst offenders: Lou Dobbs, Glenn Beck, and Bill O'Reilly. Now, while hosts on other cable programs regularly discuss illegal immigration, Dobbs, O'Reilly, and Beck are the most notable because day after day after day, they serve up a steady diet of fear and anger on this subject. And our report documents the propagation of a series of myths about undocumented immigrants in particular and the issue of immigration in general. The first myth is that undocumented immigrants are responsible for a disproportionate amount of crime in the United States today. This is simply false. Yet, despite the fact that numerous studies have found that immigrants in general commit fewer crimes than native-born citizens, these cable hosts and their guests pound on the alleged connection between illegal immigration and crime night after night. In 2007, on these three programs alone, there were nearly 200 segments on undocumented immigrants and crime, feeding this myth that Americans should fear being victimized by undocumented immigrants. Now, the second myth we explore is that undocumented immigrants drain our social services while paying little or nothing in taxes. Like the crime myth, this too is completely false. Undocumented immigrants pay sales taxes, property taxes, income taxes, Social Security taxes, and Medicare taxes. And the most authoritative data on the subject indicate that overall, immigrants pay more in taxes than they get in social services. But you won't hear that from these cable hosts. And then finally, we have the urban legends. Now, watching these programs, you might come to believe that there are plans to construct a massive NAFTA superhighway running all the way from Mexico to Canada. And that there is a secret plan to join Mexico, the United States, and Canada in a North American Union similar to the European Union. Dobbs in particular has also argued that our electoral system is threatened by waves of voter fraud from undocumented immigrants trying to vote. And that diseases like leprosy are being brought to our shores by undocumented immigrants. All three of these shows have also discussed the Reconquista myth, that there is some kind of large, significant movement out there to take the American Southwest from Mexico. Let me be perfectly clear. There is absolutely no factual basis to these claims, not one of them. This is nothing more than fiction dressed up as news. And one of the most unfortunate results of this kind of fear-mongering and misinformation is that the rational voices get drowned out. And that leaves too many Americans with a warped view of the immigration issue. Now, Dobbs, O'Reilly, and Beck should be held accountable for their actions. But we shouldn't forget that it is CNN and Fox News that puts these programs on the air. And they fail to set the record straight when the hosts that they employ send forth a stream of deceptive and inflammatory rhetoric. It is the networks that bear the ultimate responsibility. So today, we're taking the first step in demanding that CNN and Fox step up and provide the American public with a fair and accurate portrayal of this important issue. Our report demonstrates that Dobbs, Beck, and O'Reilly cloud the public debate on immigration with misinformation and fear while fostering an unfortunate climate of anti-immigrant hysteria. The news outlets that broadcast these programs should work to bring a more accurate discussion of this issue to the airwaves, and only then will they begin to fulfill their obligation to adequately inform the American public. So I'd like again to thank the Senator and the members of Congress and my colleagues, and I look forward to their remarks and any questions any members of the press have after the press conference.